Life will never be the same after your spiritual awakening. And why do I say that? Because this is how it is. Like, I'm not gatekeeping, I'm not sugarcoating anything. Like, this is the harsh truth that you need to face if you are getting into the spiritual realm, or if you are waking up. That's the thing. If you are waking up, this is how it is. This is the harsh truth that you need to hear right now. Hi, my name is Jules. If you're new here, welcome to this podcast. I do lots of things between YouTube, content creation. I'm a UGC creator as well as a coach. So doing lots of things. I will leave everything down in the description box if you want to further support me on here. Also, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, a comment. I would always love to know who's listening, who's watching. And if you feel extra kind today, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. I already teasered the conversation. I already gave you straight in the beginning the sneak peek, or not really sneak peek, because this is literally what we're speaking about today. The topic of this week's podcast episode, of this week's video, is going to be that life will never be the same after you've had a spiritual awakening. What do I even mean with spiritual awakening? I mean after you doing self-development work, after you hiring coaches, joining programs, understanding yourself, understanding who you truly are, what you are meant to do in this world. If you're still confused, not quite sure, you don't feel clear at all on your path, do not worry. This is really a journey. It's so normal. We came here on earth to be free, to be us, but we are placed in boxes by society, by family, by friends, just the whole upbringing. And so it's normal that you kind of like lose your spark. It's normal that you, at one point, you don't even know what you're doing. But this is why it's so important. And I talk about that a lot on this channel. I talk about it a lot on my podcast, as well as in my private containers with clients. You losing kind of the spark, you losing your light, you feeling like you don't know what you're actually doing or why you're here on earth. It's okay. It's normal. We've all been here. We've all been there. Don't worry. Good news is you're here right now. You're listening to Abundant Self. You are into personal development, spirituality, all those things. And this is like the first step, actually, because you're already doing something actively to get out of this like rat race. It truly does feel like that. Or, like a black cloud where you're like, just like, oh my God, I do not see anything. I do not see the light at the end of the tunnel. And why am I saying that life will never be the same is because, just a quick background story maybe, my spiritual awakening, and I think I'm still in the midst of it, but it truly started with me meditating. I started to meditate 2019. Was the first time I was in Australia, was the first time that I really got into meditation. And back at that time, I had a really, really heavy, bad body image. So I was really negative influenced by this critical voice in my head. I didn't eat enough. I over-exercised. I had bad relationships, toxic boyfriends, all this stuff where I was just like not respecting myself. Therefore, I had zero boundaries. I would stay up late in order to just be approved, get approval by someone else. So it was really that time when I started to get into the personal development space, get into the mindset of it, or the mindset part of it, get into meditating. And when I started meditating, a lot of things started to get more clear and more clear and more clear. And of course, it wasn't a thing from like one day to another. Not at all. It was a huge journey. And this journey I'm still on today, almost like 5-6 years later, where now I can say I'm meditating every single day. If I don't meditate in the morning, I just don't feel myself. It's really this where meditation has become such an important part of my life because I can feel connected to myself. I can feel, or I do feel just so safe within my body, within my spirit, connected to source, to the universe, God, whatever you believe in, feeling like I do not need to make anyone proud but myself. And it's the same for you. Like there's no one you need to be justifying yourself to, or no one you need to, I only know the word in Spanish, but like give or get approval from, but yourself. And that's the same with like trust. You need to trust yourself so much to a point where it's like, it's okay if no one believes in myself. I believe in myself, and that's all I need. It is really all you need. It's all you need. And I kind of like got a little bit away from the topic because I'm just like ranting on here. But yeah, life will never be the same when or after your spiritual awakening. Because you'll be so aware, you'll see the red flags from far, far, far away. You'll set boundaries. People will talk to you in a way that you won't find okay. People will tell you that you've changed, or that you got, got cold, or you're just not the same person anymore. And you'll feel like, okay, like, yeah, that's true. It's okay. It's like that. Either you are okay with my person now, with my new identity, or you're not. And then that's okay too. People will, of course, judge you. They will, for sure. And you need to then be like, well, are those the ones that I want to keep walking my way with? Are those the ones I want to trust, or I can trust? Are those the ones that I want to surround myself with? Because remember, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. Those 5 people you see on a daily basis are the ones that are making you at the end of the day. So therefore, choose wisely, but also now maybe to end this topic of like life will never be the same. I have the feeling you're much happier now. You feel much freer. And even though sometimes it can get hard, you feel so much more aligned with your true purpose, with what you do here on earth. You feel just free, I guess, from not having to justify yourself all the time, from not having to say yes when you actually mean no, from not having to meet that friend that you since years don't really feel like meeting anymore. And again, when I say life will never be the same, I truly mean that if you're at work, for example, and there are people that you're like, oh, they should listen to a podcast about mindset and manifestation. Like, what's wrong with them? How can they have such a negative mindset? How can they be so rude? But also like, obviously not happy. Like if they have this mindset, they're obviously still trapped. They didn't wake up. They didn't go through a spiritual awakening. And if that's the case, and you're like, for example, coworker with someone like that, or, you feel like you're surrounded by those people, then my suggestion is to just keep doing your thing, because the universe always will bring you, and you will attract the people that you're meant to move forward with. So even though at work there are coworkers who don't feel like, at all, you're not on one wave, you're not like getting along, whatever they say, you feel like, oh, like complete opposite mindset. Just be cool with it. Accept it. Like they don't need to be your best friends. They don't need to be the people that, or this person doesn't need to be the person that you trust. No, you got to see them. Okay, just stick it out, but until there. And when you realize that, there's like a really, really heavy weight that just falls off. Honestly, that you're so much happier and living a such better life than probably before your spiritual awakening. And having that in mind and focusing on the positive, the positive always expands. So it can be hard, but focus on the positive, focus on the good in life, be proud of yourself. And that's it. And keep getting into the whole thing of spirituality and keep evolving and keep growing, because it is what sets you free. So thank you so much for being here. I see you next week. Bye.